Welcome to this episode of the Hinduism 101 series. Did the concept of a caste system really originate from the Hindu scriptures? How can one be proud of a religion that endorses such separation? These important questions and the need to dispel this misconception are addressed in today's episode. Be sure to listen and re-listen to Vivekji's thorough explanation of varna.
We began our course focusing on the structure of Sanatana Dharma. When I say Shishya, your one English reminder should be, share with me, means what? Seeker. We continue with our structure. Sadguru means guide, right on. Shastra means map, very good. Bhagwan means creator. And then Brahman means infinity. See, you can write your own book. We began our course with the structure of Sanatana Dharma, 5 facets. Shishya, Sadguru, Shastra, Bhagwan, Brahman. These are all the same. As you climb this structure, you come to understand and appreciate that. The next section of our course focused on confusion. The structure is quite clear. We are confused by this. So the first confusion that we addressed, Bhagavad Gita's chapter 4, verse 8, which was on avatara. The word used in the verse is sambhavami, but I want us to have that one word as avatara. What this means in one sentence: manifestations. Manifestations to protect the noble and correct the ignoble. So this can be looked at in a macro sense, that there are manifestations that come and change all of the world, or in a micro sense, there may be a manifestation in your life that is protecting you from becoming lazy and correcting you to become calm. The second confusion that we addressed, same chapter 4, verse 11, sadhana. The word that is used in the verse is vartma. In English, this is paths. 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 There are many paths to the self. In Meaningful Mornings, we're going through 4 of them: integration, intention, differentiation, devotion. There are different religions, the Abrahamic religions, the Dharmic religions. There are many paths to the self. Are there many selves? No. That's why Sanatana Dharma is a monotheistic polytheism. The polytheism is the many. Monotheism is the one. Dvaita to Advaita. The next confusion we address, we continue in chapter 4, we move on to verse 13. This confusion has caused more ramifications than the earlier confusions about avatara or sadhana. This one is about varna. Tell me, what is the English translation of varna before I share with you? English translation. Those who are writing caste, I'm not very happy. Varna means color. And it shows how deep this confusion is. That all of you, if you applied for a job, would write that you're Hindu. You're part of this course. Imagine what an ordinary or a casual practitioner or seeker would feel that varna means. Please repeat after me if you can. 4:13. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam. Chatur varnyam gunakarma vibhagashaha. Gunakarma vibhagashaha. Tasya kartaram mam. Tasya kartaram mam. Vidyat Vidyat kartaram avyayam. Vidyat kartaram avyayam. The literal meaning of this verse. Chatur, show me with your hands. 4. Varnyam, show me with your hands. Color, right? There's so many colors. Brown and white and black. Maya Srishtam, all of creation is filled with, is comprised of 4 colors. These colors are facilitated by guna and karma. Vibhagashaha means classifying or classification based on guna and karma. Tasya kartaram apimam, Bhagavan Krishna is sharing here, I am the one who implemented this classification of 4 colors. Vidya kartaram avyayam, vidya akartaram avyayam, though I am the one who implemented this, I am not the one who's responsible for its interpretation. Okay? You have the literal meaning. We will go deep into this verse. So, the Creator has created creation. Any doubts? All that is created was created by its creator. It could be the notebook you're using, the clothes you're wearing, the table you're having your computer on. It's creation. It was created. There has to be a creator. Now, the creator of my notebook is Moleskine. The creator of your computer is Apple. Is Moleskine perfect? No. It is very susceptible to coffee stains. Is Apple perfect? Very susceptible to capitalism. Is the creator perfect? Yes. If the cause is perfect, doesn't the effect have to be perfect too? Because the cause pervades the effect. So, the first point to be understood in terms of the varna, which in English means color, but people know as caste, is whatever comes from the Creator is perfect. Whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not. When we do come to know this and like this, our understanding and appreciation and interaction with creation goes from vertical to horizontal. So much of what we engage in is a hierarchy, correct? I'm a citizen, I become a member of parliament, I become our premier, I become our governor general, I become our prime minister. So many of you don't know these terms because you're American. But it's a hierarchy, yes. Even with the rainbow flag, LGBTQIA2+, I'm not fond in the fact that it's vertical. It should be horizontal, correct? When you understand and appreciate that creation is perfect, there's no better or worse. There's only different. To understand the color system, we have to break this idea that there's a better or worse. There's simply differences. Tell me what your favorite color is. Share in the chat. Your favorite color. Pink, white, royal purple. Who's right? All of There's no absolute best color. There's simply different. Do you acknowledge that? Okay. So now I've taken this from a general focus in terms of colors. Let's make this more specific. Guna. Guna in English, I want you to remember as prototype. You may never have heard the word prototype in a Vedantic discourse, but now you have. Guna expresses as varna. Varna, I want you to understand as personality. Varna expresses as karma. That I want you to understand as profession. So the three Sanskrit words are guna, varna, karma. Imagine guna being causal. The causal becomes subtle, that is varna. The subtle becomes gross, that is karma. Prototype becomes your personality, becomes your profession. We're all in sync so far. One's prototype can be of a combination of three designs. And those designs are tamas, rajas, and sattva. Tamas means laziness. It's attributed to the color black. In the sense, and please don't externalize this. This is all causal. It's very deep inside of you. Even physically, when the lights are off, what do you want to do? Do you want to read Vedantic books? You just want to sleep, correct? So that darkness inside, we just want to be lazy. Rajas is aggressiveness. And what's attributed to this quality is red. When you're going through the TSA line and randomly you have to go through that body scan, isn't that a red light that causes you to be more aggressive? What about everyone else? And sattva is calmness. And this is the color white. White like soap. White like purity. Okay? So guna is causal. It is the prototype for who we are. This expresses as varna. Varna means color literally. It is our personality. And this is classified in 4 ways. Those 4 ways you already know generally. I'm going to provide details now. Here we go. Different, not better. One classification is Brahmana. A Brahmana is 60% calm, 30% aggressive, and 10% lazy. 60-30-10. A, Brahmana is one who's fond of thinking. Next, different, not better or worse, is the Kshatriya. The Kshatriya is the one who's fond of leading. Some are fond of thinking, some are fond of leading. They're comprised of 30% sattva, 60% rajas, and 10% tamas. 30, 60, 10. Next, another differentiation is the Vaishya, the one who's fond of organizing. Organizing. So you have thinking, leading, organizing. Their personality is made up of 10% sattva, 60% rajas, 30% tamas. 10, 60, 30. Color. That is a Shudra, one who is fond of working. Not fond of thinking or leading or organizing, fond of, their propensity is towards working. They are made up of 10% sattva, 30% rajas, and 60% tamas. 10, 30, 60. What a lovely classification. Now imagine you have a palette and you have 3 colors, black, red, and white. And each of the main 4 paints you're going to use, you just keep mixing them, correct? One should be whiter, one should be redder, one should be blacker. Yes? And you need all of those colors, don't you? For the home you're living in, wasn't there a thinker involved? Let's call them the architect, yes? Wasn't there a leader involved? The project manager who said, subcontractor, go there, subcontractor, go there. Wasn't there a banker involved that negotiated your mortgage? That's the organizer. Here's the funds. When you need more funds, here's more funds. Wasn't there a worker involved? Did the architect lay down your carpet? Did the banker pour your foundation? There was a worker involved. Now, delete one of those personalities from your home. Imagine you have no carpet and no wood either. Correct? How would you walk safely? What if there was no architect? You designed your home yourself. Please let me know in advance so I don't come to your home if you designed it yourself to that extent. Correct? They're all different. They're not better or worse. So I explained guna. Your prototype is causal. I explained varna. Your personality is subtle. So when you say caste, you're making that which is subtle as gross, and that is wrong. And now we'll go to karma, which is gross, and I define that as your profession. Profession. How many of you have gone through a DISC? I think it's called DISC analysis in your workplaces by a show of hands. Some of you have gone through that. Of course you have. And there's different personality tests like that. The way to understand karma or profession is through ikigai. Have you heard of ikigai before? Okay, here's ikigai. One circle. One criteria in your profession is what the world needs. What the world needs. Another criteria is what you love to do. What you love to do. A third criteria is what you are good at. I love to play soccer, but I'm not good enough to play professionally. And the fourth is what the world will pay you for. So what the world needs, what you love to do, what you are good at, and finally, what the world will pay you for. Now you have all of the dots, and I'm going to invest some time connecting all of these dots. Bhagavan Krishna has shared, with creation, he has established this classification. This classification is not based on your profession, it is based on your prototype. There's so many of us that are in professions that don't match our prototype, correct? I went through this intimately. I was engaged in retail management and commercial real estate. Now look at me. Volunteer. I only say professional, so you keep signing up for classes. If I just say volunteer, you won't even sign up for that. Correct? See, I was in a profession that didn't match my prototype. Now I am in a profession, and don't think of a profession as something that you get paid for only. That does match my prototype. Yes? So don't think that someone's profession is determining who they are. A lot of us are mismatched in that sense, correct? And what has been done is that we're taking that which is gross to be indicative of that which is subtle or causal. That's where this sentiment of varna means caste. It is your parents' last name, it is your blood type, it is your skin color. That's all gross. I barely use my last name, correct? Everyone's feeling this more. Okay. We're addressing the confusion of the caste system. I'm going to describe it as that for the sake of confusion. My first point was the Creator has created creation perfectly. When I know that, I dissolve better and worse, and I start to build up different. What are these differences based on? My second point. Your guna is the primary factor which expresses as the varna, which expresses as karma. So what's least important? Your profession. More important is your color, or your personality. More important is your prototype. Now I shift to the third thought flow to really understand varna. The Creator has created creation like prototype, personality, profession for the sake of efficiency. Efficiency. See how this is connected to the structure of Sanatana Dharma. The structure of Sanatana Dharma is to know thyself. From Shishya to Brahman, correct? Your unchanging responsibility is to know your infinite nature. So the Creator has created creation like this for efficiency. If I'm a worker, I should work. That helps me to feel more at ease, to have a quieter mind. If I'm a thinker, I should think. So it is creation, that is you and I, that have made that which is efficient deficient. All of the hardships in history that have been attributed to the caste system is not because of the creator, rather is because of creation, specifically how we interpret this verse. Now I'll add a few more historical details and then complete today's class. This is very meaningful to me because those who hate on Sanatana Dharma know very little about Sanatana Dharma. I feel that the first source of misinterpretation from color to caste was by the Brahmanas. Those people in society who had this trace of corruption in their personalities, where they started to leverage, I know this language and you don't know this language, so you should respect me. I know how to do this ritual and you don't know how to do this ritual, so you should pay me. Yes? And a very overt way how Brahmanas have misinterpreted color into caste is with gender. Back in the day, Devas and Devis, males and females, went to the Gurukula. Males and females both had their Upanayana, or their sacred thread ceremony, offered. Now when you think of a Gurukula, if you see images, you tend to only see Devas, correct? Same goes with Upanayana. Have any of your daughters had their Upanayana done? That's what I thought. And look at all of us in our Hinduism 101 course. We are Sanatana Dharma, correct? It's time for us to wake up. The second, and this misinterpretation has been compounded, is by colonialism. With the Brahmanas, it was more overt. Males and females. With colonialism, it was more covert. And this was really done by the color of your skin. Those who were darker outside, we extrapolated that they were darker inside, as in more tamasic. Now, does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. So if I keep wearing fair and lovely, does that make me more sattvic? But that's what colonialism did, and that's why the word varna literally changed into caste. And who was the fairest of them all? Those who are the colonialists, no? And I'll add even more specificity here. From the 16th century to the mid-18th century, who invaded the land of Sanatana Dharma? The Mughals, correct? And from the mid-18th century to the 20th century, who invaded the land of Sanatana Dharma? The British. Now, the Mughals practice what religion? Islam. And the British practice what religion? Christianity. So the ones who are governing Sanatana Dharma, the land of Sanatana Dharma, are those who are not practicing Sanatana Dharma. And what was my first caution to all of you? Don't learn Sanatana Dharma from someone who's not practicing. And that's exactly what's been happening for 500 years. Now imagine how much unlearning would have to happen when I've misinterpreted for 500 years. How much of dynamism would be needed to reinterpret this the way it was originally shared by the Creator? Yes. And also think, in Islam and Christianity, isn't there a propensity for conversion? Isn't that built into Christianity and Islam? So how do you convert someone? By dismantling what they believe in. We believe in varna as color, but how do you dismantle that? Make it based on caste. Your skin color, the job that your father did, you have to do too. So, don't hate on Bhagavan Krishna or Bhagavad Gita because there is no indication of caste system. There is a color classification like there is in every part of creation, as this verse references.
If you enjoyed what you heard or want to learn more, share this episode with a friend or find us online at facebook.com/cmniagara. For those on the journey of self-development, Chinmaya Mission Niagara provides a community forum for seekers to listen, reflect, and contemplate. This podcast is produced by the Young Adults of Chinmaya Mission, an international nonprofit working to transform individuals through the knowledge of Vedanta. Until next time, inspire, love, be.